Hi everybody. So East versus West 24 has been over, and I am little bit surprised and also happy with my own predictions, and I also have some overview about the issue in refereeing that usually happens all the time in East versus West. So the first match was between the finalists, or you can say they picked a pair from the tournament that happened prior to the uh, East versus West 24. So one of them was Isa and other one was Bob Brown. So don't I don't think many people know about Isha, but Isa is somebody who just flash pinned Coach Ray in the tournament earlier. So you can gauge the level, and we all know about Bob Brown. It was stylistically a bad matchup for Isa. Isa is a majorly a wrist-based, cup-based side hookish puller. Bob Brown is king's move, dominant player. So a bad stylist matchup. If somebody is going to maintain his cup against king's move, that's a very rare possibility. So yeah, Bob Brown won that match 3-0. It was entertaining nonetheless. Second match, it was between Nana and Courtney. Uh, as I predicted that Courtney would win, because I think that Courtney is more dedicated to arm wrestling right now than any female arm wrestler on the planet right now. Maybe some Kazakhs would make it different, but yeah, Courtney won. I had a little bit of issue with the way Courtney acted with his opponent, with her opponent. Uh, why I say so? Cause see, aggression is good, but you still have to respect your opponent. As without your opponent, there is no glory. Whom you gonna pull? Air. So I think there was a little bit of class missing. Then Bellinger and Jason. Yeah, I was wrong on this one, and from this prediction I have learned that I should always go with my gut instinct rather than what other people say. uh, that way my predictions are usually very correct. uh, Bad matchup, simply hooked him, with him without the strap, with the strap. So bad matchup, nothing interesting. 3-0 Rand Bellinger. Then comes the Auden and Jeremy, and it was surprising for Auden, and it was surprising for me a little bit. Why I am saying this? See, in every interview, Jeremy was saying that he will lose his hand, he will lose his hand. No, and losing the hand doesn't mean losing the wrist flexion. It means losing your pronator. And I thought that maybe his hand is weak. If you watch it closely, in the first round, Jeremy hand was dominant than Auden. So on because of that, I got this notion that Auden hand is actually stronger than Jeremy, but it was not like that. But in spite of all that, sorry, in spite of all that, it was very entertaining match. Very entertaining. The second round, I got so hyped and I was shouting in the middle of the night. But it was so good match, 3-1. I was wrong on this one, and you can say it was a little bit of my own ignorance and outer influence, or you can say a good mind game from Jeremy Parker. I have to watch here. The camera is here. So yeah. Then comes Irakli versus Kanai. Somebody in my comment section on the post told me, no, either two people told me that I am wrong about this prediction, and I was like, nah. Irakli is just a bad matchup. Has a tremendous hand, back pressure. He did what I imagined: a single surge, rise, regrip, press. It was as dominant as it was I thought it would be. Like it was maybe a little bit much more dominant, but yeah, 3-0 Irakli. You know? Yeah, maybe it's time for comeback. Then Adam versus Celes, Peter Celes, whatever you say. Kind of a mismatch, good match. First round was a good flash, sideways hit, got the pin. But after that, Adams fixed his attack mode, and it was just he was playing with the food all the time. The wrist of Adam Wojcinski is very strong. It's ridiculously strong. If Peter was not able to take it, that is very strong. That is a very strong wrist. And why I thought that Peter would not win this, because um, Sandris was able to hook Peter, and I can guarantee you that Sandris' wrist is not better than Peter Cheris. So yeah, that was the basis of my prediction. Then comes the Bishop, Justin Bishop versus Spider-Man Tom Holland. I know Tom Holland. I am following Tom for like last 3 years, so I know his level. I know very much the strength of Tom Holland. That sticky point right at the bottom, right above a 1 inch pad, about the above an inch of the pen pad. He is very sticky, like ridiculously sticky, same like Devon Light, very sticky in the bottom. It went similar way that I thought. The first round, I think uh, Tom tried to top roll, but Justin is ridiculously strong, very strong hand. Not many people can actually fight fresh on fresh with Justin Bishop in 77 kg category. So as I hoped, I was correct about the match, and good that Tom Holland is actually getting the recognition that he deserved. And he is also a athlete from Armos, So Neil Pickup's prodigies. Then comes the Tulier versus Yanis. For this one, I would say there was external influence. I also thought that Yanis would win, but uh, before my prediction, I saw a video of um, the goat, Mennogas, and he said that Yanis level is increasing with the age, and that made me think that yeah, it must be a bad matchup. And I have seen it because Craig Tullier was not able to even budge um, the not Roman, Moldovan. That man, he does this exercise. What is his name? Daniel Prokopchik. So I thought that his hand release is not that great. They can all overhype that he has a second hit, but yeah, if you don't have a good pronator, that second hit wouldn't work. And Yanis Amolin's setup is ridiculously uncomfortable for other person. So yeah, Yanis, I was also correct on this one. Gorilla versus Pablo. As I thought, a bad mismatch. The size difference was visible in the press conference also. So a very plain side cup based attack, and nothing to be discuss here. 3-0 Gorilla West. So then comes the Cody Merritt versus uh, the tongue master, Jerry Caderet. I thought that the health of Jerry was not that great, so it wouldn't be a good match at all. But still, it was a good match because I think both have lost like 60 pound, so there was a drop in strength for both people. But nonetheless, was entertaining. That the turnaround in third round was it was a surprising. But what can you say? It's good to see that uh, they are still using Jerry. They haven't retired him. So now comes the prediction where I was totally wrong, and there was no external influence. And from now on, I will never believe on the potential of Alex Kurdecha. Never, man, man, that was bad. Like the first pin, I missed the first pin. Like it happened so quick. Like I wasn't even able to actually, absorb it. Like it happened like this. And I will tell you something. So many people do something like this. They try to replicate what they do on table by using machines. Okay, by doing high cup, low cup, all those things. Tobias Sporong is little bit different. He replicates what he does on the machine to do same on the table. So if you watch carefully, Tobias Sporong does this. He goes a little bit forward, bend a little bit wrist, and then comes back. If you have ever done the side pressure machine, that side pressure machine, if you get a little bit farther, cup it, and then go down, you can move a lot of more weight. And I think Tobias use his speed very efficiently. Like he doesn't try to pin other person with that speed. He try to gain a slight position of the wrist, and from there with all that strong strength hand and finger flexion, boom. So a ridiculous performance. Like I was totally wrong in this one. I was totally surprised, like totally surprised, much more surprised than Hermes Gasparini match. But I was totally surprised. So yeah, Tobias Purong 3-0, like this. Bad matchup. It was a good matchup, but yeah, bad result. So yeah, I made the video about this prediction. Alizan versus Rigat Bowman. Everybody was saying that Rigat Bowman would lose. It went exactly like that I predicted in my video. Similar. Alizan tried to when he hooked him, it stopped. When he tried to top roll him, he lost his wrist and got pinned. And he tried to kings move him. Rickard was in trouble, and that elbow was causing the issue. But as I told you, he would climb, and he climbed slowly and pinned him. So yeah, exactly the way I wah, exactly the way I predicted it to happen. So if you haven't watched that video, you can watch it. Uh, you will get a sense of both athlete, and it's a good video, I would say. You can suggest any criticism on that video also. So Todd Hutchings versus Bogdan Stoica. What can I say? The way Todd Hutchings plays, I also play very similarly. I know, and I know my weakness. Very strong cup-based person coming inside simply cuts my pronator like air, and I get pinned. I know that the similar thing would happen if Bogdan Stoica would try to top roll him. He will get stuck, and he got stuck. But if he will come forward, I had a little bit of different feeling. Like he will do a little bit of a very strong cup, and he will adjust his shoulder quicker and press through him. But Bogdan Stoica is like specialist. He does two things at the same time. So he does simply a very good shoulder roll. So congratulations, and I think I have to throw all my equipments now and buy a towel and a plank. But yeah, congratulations, sir. Happy for you. Okay, now Petrenko versus Todd. I will discuss the Hermes one later. Petrenko versus Todd, similar thing. Petrenko is not a classical, not a very good high top best arm wrestler. No, he's a just a brute type top roller or arm wrestler. There was nothing very technical displayed by him. He tried to no rise, but his riser is not that much great. I have seen the lifts, so I wasn't expecting it. Many people predicted Petrenko to win, but I thought it would never happen. He has never shown that potential, and it would never gonna happen. So yeah, but I have issue. I have a big issue with this match. Petrenko actually pinned him, boom, in the second round, and they didn't give that. And I was like, what? And that was bad, dude. This biasness, I don't like it. I don't like the way Luke Pulsar sometimes does his job. And the elbow of Mike was going way off sometime, was also got ignored. So yeah, inconsistency in the you can say reffing. Similar thing happened in first round of Alijan versus Rigat Bowman. But what can you say? Shit happens. Now the main match. टॉड कहता हूँ दोस्त एरमेस और मोरोजोव का मैच. मैं थोड़ा इसको हिंदी में बोलूँगा. I did have a doubt that Hermes' wrist would not be able to hold the side pressure of Morozov. It happened. But I thought the riser would be so strong that when Morozov would go sideways, he will lose a lot of his wrist. And if he will try to flop press him, Hermes, nobody in the world can flop press Hermes as I thought. I had this much of like expectation from Hermes. But what happened? If you watch carefully, I will tell you something. You have to understand. See, Aramis shoot the back pressure from the first knuckle. He did it. His shoulder dropped. Artem Morozov has a long leverage, big hand. He did this motion, a drag motion. And as Aramis told that he has an injury, there was not a lot of side pressure must be coming from Hermes when he was shooting back. So there was not a lot of threat here for Atom Morozov. He did this, and then there is a move he does, and I think it's unique for him. He does this thing like he lets his elbow go a little bit down, like Atom Morozov does this, and then out of the shoulder this way, and then he dropped it. The moment Hermes Gasparini gets stretched like that, there was nothing he could do. A lot, and there from there, cracked wrist, hooked, and yeah. So it was surprising the way the wrist cracked. But one thing also, many people think that Hermes was faking the injury. How can he win the third round if he was third or fourth? I don't know which round. I'm not able to recall. But how Hermes was able to win that round? See, if you watch carefully that round, Hermes was able to get a little bit of hand control, and Morozov actually allowed Hermes to get a very good setup. If you watch carefully, his wrist was a little bit curved. No, a very favorable setup, and the go happened, and Hermes was able to get a hand control. And I can guarantee you that nobody in the world can win against Hermes Gasparini if he bends his wrist little bit. It happened, and then Hermes climb, and Dawai, and pressed through him. Further round, and I think because of the injury, Hermes was desperate. Hence, the injury was a big point. The injury actually affected a lot. I also have an injury right now here, and it has cut off the lane where the injury happened. If anybody try to go to that lane, my arm, no, it's pain. It doesn't want to hold that position. No, it feels like the elbow would crack again. And I think Hermes got injured in a position where it was necessary for him to hold. And the moment it went in that lane, he cracked his elbow again, and boom, lost his side pressure. And yeah, the match was. But I will actually, when the match would come out on YouTube, I will give a better deep analysis of that match so that you can understand. This way, it's tough to imagine. I do understand, but nonetheless, it was very good matchup, and I was correct on a lot of predictions. Some of them were wrong. Only, only sir, only the Tobias versus Alex was pure wrong prediction from me. Like there was no external influence for that prediction. So yeah, until then, बहुत गर्मी है यार, बहुत गर्मी है दिल्ली में. हाँ, so yeah, until then, love arm wrestling.